Okay, this is lab number 6, pump curve and efficiency, and in this lab we're going to vary the flow rate through a system at a given valve set, at a given pump setting, and then calculate from that a pump curve including the pump efficiency. So at this point I'd like you to go through the entire lab with your group, make sure that you're all on the same page and that you understand what you're doing with this lab. Importantly, there's a safety section which you should read carefully, and then there's some background and pre-lab information, questions, and then item number 3 is actually collecting the data, and that's what this lab consists of. So to do this, we're going to run the pump and vary the position of the control valve, and from that we'll get different pressure drops across the pump, different flow rates for a given pump setting, and we're going to do the same thing at a separate pump setting. Okay, so let's begin by looking at the pump setup. And I guess before we do that, go ahead and pause the video and chat with your group about the lab report. Okay, moving on to the pump setup, you can see here on the lower left there's the white control valve, and that's what we have access to through the online interface that we'll use in just a moment. At the bottom center there's a red globe valve, and then a little bit to the right of that on the main flow path there's a yellow ball valve. That loops around to the back where there's another red globe valve that controls the bypass split. So what I want you to do now is make sure that you think about with your group what the positions of all these valves should be in when you begin the experiments, and what positions should they be in, which ones are you going to change for the valves, and then also have a look at your previous schematics that had you examining the different pressure taps through the system. We did that in a previous lab experiment so that you can see where the pressure is being measured for this unit. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the pressure drop across the pump itself, and so those are going to be looking down here and then again at the top. But other aspects of this lab and settings you need to do, go ahead and pause the video here and talk it over with your group. Okay, so let's transition over to the controller here. Okay, so this is the pump interface. We have the main power button, which we've turned on. The pump switch will turn the pump on and start the flow. We're going to set the pump to be 100%, and then we'll set this to be on manual control so that we can directly set the valve position, and we'll run this at several different valve positions. So I'm going to start this at 100% open, and then we'll go ahead and turn the pump on. And that has started to flow. Okay, and it comes up to about 19.3 gallons per minute. Now I'm going to specify the time between data points to be 1 second between data points, and I'll set the number of data points to be 30, and then I'll go down here and push to record, and it's beginning to record the data and counting that up. And manually on a piece of paper I'm going to record the flow rate, 19.3, so that I can keep track of that at different flow rates, just so that I might try to reproduce that flow rate under a different pump setting that will change a little bit later on. So as that records, I'm going to, or as that counts up, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording of the video, and then we'll reconnect when it gets close to being finished. Okay, and that's just finished. So we'll turn the pump off, come down and get the data file, save the file. And I've got a couple in here already. I'm going to replace this one, 100 pump, 100 open. So that's 100% on the pump and 100% open. Go ahead and save that file. Yes, replace it. And then you can see for these others, I'm going to go ahead and do maybe 6 runs, one at 0, one at 12, one at 25, one at 50, one at 75, and one at 100. So we'll come down here, or maybe let's do 0, 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. We'll skip 10. 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. That'll be good. So we'll come down here and set it to, we can set that directly to 80. And then we will turn the pump back on. Okay, and then go ahead and once that comes up to speed, about 18.5. Push to record, and that'll start to count up again. Okay, and I'll pause the video again. Pause the recording of the video again. Okay, and it's just about finished. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, it's finished. Turn the pump off. Now, I realize on the last one you might not have seen the data saving, so we'll go ahead and save the file here. I'm saving this on my J drive in a 285 folder called lab 6 pump curve. The last one I did was 100 underscore pump underscore 100 open, and this one will do 80 open. Okay, save that. Now let's go to 60 open. Okay. Whoops, and that can be 30 again. Now we'll turn the pump back on. And that's running at about flow rate of about 15.0. Okay, and we'll record this, and we're just going to repeat that for several points. So we change the pump position and push to record the data, save it to a file with a good name, and repeat that. We'll do about 6 data points, and then we'll do a whole other set where we'll change this pump speed set point, change it maybe to 50% of the nominal value, and then we'll go through that entire process again so that we have 2 sets of data. And when we do that, I'm going to include the 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100, but I'm also going to try to pick a few set points, valve positions that give the same flow rates as we got for the 100% open pump. And so you'll have all of this data provided to you, and you can go ahead and work through the data with your team.